nowhere if he's going to write unflattering things. And they decided at the end of the interview it really wasn't very positive, even though this man had been responsible for a whole string of murders in the region. Sometimes, of course, you have to go undercover because there's no other way of reporting on things if you're not allowed in the first place. That creates a very large barrier. And finally, of course, in places like Syria, again, it can be a very nasty end for you if it's decided by not just the government, but some of the rebel groups, extremist rebel groups, that what you're doing isn't favourable to their cause. And of course, there can be even worse consequences for your interviewees, your sources. I'm often in places for a short amount of time, and as soon as I go, of course, these people are still there. They're then left to face the music. So it's trying to find ways where we can get them to tell their stories, but not at huge risk to themselves. So really, it's how do we do that? And that's the sort of thing I'm looking to get out of the panel here to tell me. I'd like to start with you, Laura, actually, because in the UK, there are many people, and from the BBC I'm not allowed to give my political allegiances, but I can say there are many people in the media who are rather thankful that President Trump isn't the #1 person in the UK politically. But there again, Laura, you were the first to get US courts to refuse to endorse British libel judgments as repugnant to the First Amendment. So we should at least too pleased with ourselves, should we? Tell me about that.
Yes, I have been introduced to various judges in the UK as this is the lawyer that got our law declared repugnant. And we were successful in 2 cases that were inconsistent with the First Amendment protections we enjoy here. So when the news organizations were sued there and they got judgments there, they couldn't enforce them here. And there are some very important ways in which the law is different or was different. So let me give you an example. I represented a Wall Street Journal reporter who was based in Hong Kong, and she was sued by Sheldon Adelson, the owner of casinos in Las Vegas and Macau and elsewhere, for writing that he was a scrappy, foul-mouthed billionaire for working-class Dorchester. And he didn't like the foul-mouthed part.
This was fine, was it?
Dorchester was fine, and scrappy was fine. And so he sued her, not the Journal, in Hong Kong. And because the case was in Hong Kong, we had the burden of proving that he was foul-mouthed. Had the case been brought here, first of all, it would have been dismissed as opinion, and you can't prove, objectively, is someone foul-mouthed? That's sort of a value judgment. But more than that, he would have had the burden of proving he was not foul-mouthed. So we had to take the depositions here of his security guard, his chauffeur, various other people who might have heard him speak. I'm happy to say that in the end we won, and he resisted every effort to get their testimony. We won in 3 appellate courts, the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 11th, and ultimately he dropped the lawsuit, and the article is still up as is. But that's one way in which it's different. The second way was that it used to be in England that if you made a mistake, you had to pay. There was no like, oh gee, I did a good job, or I didn't know I made a mistake, which of course are protections that we have here. And I'm happy to say, after we got the laws declared repugnant, our United States Congress, amazingly, in 2010, passed unanimously the Speech Act, which forbids U.S. courts from enforcing foreign libel judgments that are inconsistent with the First Amendment. What law has been passed unanimously by Congress other than street names, I don't know, but it was an extremely significant change. And then the UK Parliament said, this is shaming us, and they passed the Defamation Reform Act, so they now at least have something approaching our protections where it's not automatic if you say something's wrong that you have to pay. They have to prove if you did it responsibly and you ask for comment and it's about another public interest, then you'll have some protection from libel. So that's a happy news, and I don't think Donald Trump will be able to change those protections that the First Amendment affords for when you say nasty things about people. In fact, he's invoked them himself because he's been sued now several times for libel, and he has successfully invoked them. So I don't think that'll change, but apropos of Gawker, that set a different climate here because that astronomical judgment, which was not for libel, it was a privacy claim. As you know, a tape of Hulk Hogan having sex with his best friend's wife was played in part on Gawker, and he brought a lawsuit funded by a hidden benefactor, who now we know is Peter Thiel. And that enormous judgment has encouraged, I think, a climate of bringing more lawsuits, plus the whole fake news and anti-media. Which came first is a question, whether Gawker was the canary in the coal mine that should have told us that this